Good morning, homeschool mamas. I hope that your Monday has started like mine, quite pleasant. The sun is now coming through the windows and it's burning down all that snow and ice in our part of the world, which is going to get me ready to be outside, I hope. I'm still in the boot. I'm doing a little bit more walking around the yard as it melts. Thinking that it won't be maybe a week I'll be outside, which is great because I've got all sorts of gardening things planned. Are you guys gardening too? I think it's one of the best things that we can do with our kids is to spend time outside in the great outdoors until they get really bored of the gardening thing, which definitely has happened in my part of the world. And then you get a quiet space. That works. So we've been doing, Friday we went out for a field trip to about an hour away to visit a ranch and visit goats, because our intention is to create a goat shed or a goat barn and a bunch of, not very exciting, but a bunch of gates and fences and things. And that's something that I'm doing with my 12-year-old son this week. It's spring break here in my part of the world. And though we don't always honor spring break, we slow down if kids have something to do, which is a bit more tricky because our part of the world, not everything was open for all the kids, so they don't have access to the same things. Do you guys have spring break? Do you honor spring break? I certainly did not for a very long time. But if I've had a child in school, then it makes a lot more sense. Like, how do I tell one child, yeah, you have spring break, and the rest of you can do your normally scheduled routine? Now that my oldest is at home, she's 18, so she's very independent and she's got her own stuff going on. I don't actually dictate anything about a spring break. If she takes a break, she takes a break. If she's working still, she's working still. She's kind of like a college student. She's pretty focused in her academics and her intentions, so I don't actually really include her in a discussion of, do I take spring break? So we did the goat thing on Friday, and Zach, my son, and I are going to build a couple of gates this week. He just finished showing me something that he built for the chicks that we're going to be bringing home in the middle of April, and then 4 of them in the middle of May. And so this looks familiar, doesn't it? Yes, it is Cheez-Its and a box of Pellegrino and Fruit Sensations. This is not product placement, but he has created a little playhouse for the chicks. How cool is that? And we're going to put that into a giant tote with a bunch of pine shavings, and we've done this about 4 or 5 times before with baby day-old chicks, and I'm going to keep you posted, because at a certain point, probably middle of May, I'm going to transition from a super focused podcast schedule into a more homestead focus throughout the summer. Although I will be helping new homeschoolers plan their new homeschool and all the, keep up with the discussion over at the Homeschool Mama Support Group on Facebook. So I'll still be doing that, but I'm going to keep a focus there. And we're going to offer some free YouTube videos on our homestead. So you get to have a field trip, a virtual free field trip to our homestead. You get to see the baby goats, you get to see the baby chicks. We're going to show you how we tangibly do them, because I know there are a lot of people out there that are actually thinking about starting that. And even if you're not, your kids will think this is cute. And my aspiring veterinarian 12-year-old son and I are going to show you all the details. My 15-year-old is going to do the YouTube editing, which she is very good at. Today, I put together a podcast, an interview that I had with Jen Babacon. Hilarious. She's the author of Detoured and one of the most entertaining gals on my Instagram feed. She always has the funniest memes. And so you're going to get to hear her story about how she got detoured from her professional mom life into her homeschool mom life, and how she dealt with the challenges of some of that and how she's dealing with it now. So you'll be able to hear that, and I get to teach my 18, I keep saying 17, my 18-year-old how to edit a podcast. These are some of the benefits of homeschooling, is they get real world experience. They get tangible skills that they could actually bring over to Fiverr and sell. And I'm hoping that I'll equip her to do just that. My 15-year-old hears me doing this, teaching my 18-year-old how to do this editing, and she's like, "Mom, I can do that." Yeah, she probably can. She's done this YouTube channel for a long time, and she knows what she's doing. She's got her own Mac. She's saved up for her own Mac. But the real world skills that you get from, having a mom that's a homeschool podcaster, I guess. But whatever our skills are as homeschool parents, we always pass those down, right? Like so many skills that we can share with our kids. My oldest at home right now is pretty proficient in all things obstetrical, maternal, fetal, child challenges, at least in theory, obviously not in practice. But she has a lot of knowledge about baby deliveries, and she is not pregnant. She has not had a baby. She has a dad that delivers babies. So advantages of a homeschool family dynamic. But this week's focus, we're going to focus on the toddlers and the preschoolers, which I think is perfectly timed because my very oldest daughter is about to turn 20, and I'm super excited for her. I feel a bit old. 20? Seriously? How old am I? But when she was a toddler, she was a handful. I share stories both in podcast, and also I'll share an encouraging read aloud on Friday about how to engage the whole toddler, preschooler world. And I'm going to give you some tips on Wednesday too. I've had my handful experience with toddlers and preschoolers. It's actually how I started homeschooling. I had 4 kids, and I had a baby on my lap and a toddler, almost preschooler. It was a lot. But you know what was the most? The first toddler. And partly it's her personality. I can tell you stories about the myriad of things that got flushed down the toilet, or sort of flushed down until I had to call the plumber. The numbers of cell phones or pagers, pagers that used to exist, that my husband, the physician husband, had dropped in the bathtub while he was having a bath. That toddler. The toddler that locked me out of the house so she could get into the pantry and open up a bag of marshmallows. The toddler that I had called poison control 3 or 4 times, and yes, I was looking after my child, but she got into everything and everything went into her mouth. Yeah, that toddler. There's a lot of effort and energy with toddlers and preschoolers. They are so cute, are they not? There's something about that 15 to 18 month old age. They're just adorable, and a lot. So that's what our focus is going to be today. And I guess the last thing that I wanted to share with you is that I have an intro How to Homeschool 101 course. It's free mini course that you can find in the link in the bio above. It's recreated, so if you've seen it before, it's not the same content. And the goal is to help encourage and inspire new homeschoolers, whether you've been homeschooling for a year, you're thinking about homeschooling, or you're just in the first few weeks or months of homeschooling. This is for you, because this is vision. This is confidence. This is clarity about what you're doing. I'm going to give you a whole bunch of ideas, but ultimately I know that you are a unique woman. You are a unique woman with unique children, and you are their greatest advocate, and you will have a homeschool that is unique to you. But it's the goal of this course is to help you develop a vision and get that clarity and confidence about how you're going to go about doing your homeschool. So check the link in the bio. The other thing I'm going to share with you is I have a free webinar available for anybody that signs up with me. Lets me know specifically. I'll send you the link, the Zoom link. And you can probably message me in the comments down below, or PM me, DM me. Just get in contact with me, and I'll make sure that you get the Zoom link for that. It's on March 31st in the afternoon. And the goal is to share the five different realms of self-care for the homeschool mama. I have ultimately condensed all the things that I've learned about the most important stuff to keep you going so that you can keep doing this homeschooling thing over the long haul. You don't have to. You don't have to join me in this webinar. You don't have to hear a 15-year seasoned homeschool veteran talk about this stuff. You can figure it out on your own, just like I did, just like a lot of people do. or you can go there and get some encouragement, because that's my thing. I'm here to encourage you so you can turn your homeschool challenges into your homeschool charms, because been there, done that. Sometimes I'm still there. And I know that it can be done. And here are the 5 realms. I share the 5 realms with you so that maybe you can have a little homeschool mama retreat in the comfort of your home. So get in contact with me and I'll send you a Zoom link for that day. I hope you have a good week with your kids. We'll talk to you soon.